remember I'm in the back seat with Alan Hawka.
So you know that we're working hard to around that bill?
Yes, to land this Mr. Walter Gretzky. How are you, sir?
Oh, I'm fine. I'm still standing beside you.
Wow. Take two. Just go ahead and hinge me. Go on now.
They're crafted twin 48-foot wooden schooners, the traditional kind.
Hey everybody, I'm Stephanie Beaumont. Welcome to CNBC. Now if you're anything like me, you're oh so ready for the season to change. So we're saying so long to winter and celebrating with our spring show. We've gathered together our A-team of CNBC experts to get us ready, covering everything from what to wear to garden care, floral design to home decor and so much more. Plus we'll toast to the season with a spirited recipe from the Carleton and we'll dole out some free stuff too. Now with everything we've got on the go, I say let's get going, or make that growing, with our good friend, radio host, award-winning blogger, best-selling author, the year-round vegetable gardener herself. Nikki Shabor, how are you?
Hey, good. How you doing, Stephanie?
Happy spring.
Thankfully. I mean, are we not ready for this? What a winter.
I gotta say, I'm excited that we're around things that are green.
I've got snow shoveling hands at this point, you know?
I don't want to talk
permanently
about it.
disabled.
But we're looking forward to growing and the growing season.
Yes, we are, and this is it. This is it. We're almost to spring, and it's time to think green.
Okay,
we're here. Yes.
I know I had great intentions last year, and there were a few things I tried on my counter, but I think I did a few things wrong.
Well, you like to look for the quirky, funny things to try. And this time of the year, you know, you can start fun things indoors.
Okay.
Like this, and this is a project suggested by you because you thought it'd be fun to learn how to do it.
Well, it's actually the sidekick who said, Mama, can't we grow our own pomegranates? And you're saying, yes, you can.
You can grow your own pomegranate plants.
Oh.
I'm not guaranteeing they're ever going to give you a pomegranate in Nova Scotia.
Oh, because of the climate.
Because of the climate. If you had an indoor greenhouse solarium that's heated, maybe. Eventually, and you did some pollination, you know, that might happen.
This must be a gigantic tree, right, to support that kind of...
They can be up to 30 feet tall,
Okay,
yeah. And they grow in places like California, of course, and
Right.
the Mediterranean. But you can still plant them, and they actually germinate quite easily.
Oh, okay.
So you want to get a pomegranate that's quite ripe, as this one is.
Right.
Pick out some seeds.
Right.
You know, we've got this one broken off here. And, you know, use a paper towel or your fingers to kind of rub off the really fleshy part, the good part, yeah.
Right.
And then you get the seeds.
Okay.
And then you can kind of wipe them clean or rinse them under water. And then you can give it a day or two to dry the seed, just so it, you know, it doesn't rot.
You can't plant it wet.
It's good to give it a day or two to dry.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Otherwise, it might rot.
Okay.
But then you plant the seeds, and I'd probably in a pot like this. You know,
Okay.
this is an 8-inch pot. I'd probably plant 10 seeds or 15 seeds.
Oh, wow, okay.
Eventually, I'd cull down to 1 or 2, but you just plant them about 1 centimeter deep.
Come on.
Keep them moist. Put a piece of plastic wrap over top to keep the moisture in.
Okay.
About 3 weeks, depending on the temperature.
Wow.
And you'll have a little pomegranate sprout coming up.
Okay, and do they ever flower, or is it just going to stay a green plant?
After a couple years, if you're taking care of it, and don't kill it. Not that I'm suggesting
that
anything.
hurts me. We're not going to talk about the poinsettia. I'm just going to let it go.
That was a while ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
After shaking it off, my therapist says just, you know, let it go.
Could you start singing that for me?
No, please.
Okay. So yeah, this will sprout, and you could have indoor host plants, pomegranate plants. And I mean, they can get sizable after a couple years, for sure. Yeah.
Very good. So now let's talk about these seeds, because you were pointing out one that's the diminutive watermelon. Is that right?
It's called the cucamelon.
Okay.
You know, also Mexican sour gherkin. It's literally about 1 inch.
Okay.
Looks like a mousse melon, like a watermelon for
Yeah.
a mousse. But it's packed with cucumber flavor with a twist of lime.
See, now this is nuts. These are hybrid seeds.
This is actually not a hybrid. It's an
Is
open
that
pollen.
true?
You can save the seeds from year to year. I do it. I grew them last year. We had about 500 fruits off 3 plants. They don't really start fruiting until the heat of summer because they like it hot. But you know, we got hundreds.
The cucamelon, and you're putting them in salads. You're eating them.
We ate everyone in the garden.
Stop it.
They were so good. The kids loved them in the lunch boxes. So.
All right, very good. And what else have you got here? Because these are all.
I also grew the white strawberries last year. They taste like pineapple with a hint of strawberry.
Come on.
You start them from seed in March. You put them in the garden, and all through August, September, and early October, we had white strawberries. It was a little hard to tell when they were ripe at first, but you know, the taste test helps.
I don't even think I've ever tried a white
They were
strawberry.
so much fun, so much fun.
That's amazing.
Yes.
Okay, I'm reading that right. It says atomic red carrot.
It does say atomic
What is
red.
that?
It's an actual, carrots aren't just orange. And carrots actually weren't originally orange. So, you know, original carrots were purple and black and yellow and white. It's just orange carrots were developed about 400 years ago, so they're kind of new. This is a red carrot, and when you cut it, it's a soft pinky red color, and it's very healthy for you, and it's really easy and fun to grow. This actually is a picture from a carrot from my garden that Halifax Seed used for the backyard.
Nice.
But yeah, really fun. Really good tasting sweet carrot.
Okay, and now bees, because you know I love them.
I know you love the bees, the butterflies, the pollinators, yes.
And I could grow these giant sunflowers.
And these can get like 15 feet tall with the proper soil conditions and water. But yeah, these are the old-fashioned type of sunflowers, which might not seem super exciting when you can buy red sunflowers and white ones. But these are pollinate. You know, they're just so high in nectar.
Right.
The bees, the butterflies, this will draw them in and support their populations. So if you want bees and butterflies in your vegetable garden, at your deck, at your your landscaping, include some sunflowers like this.
Nikki's got the greatest info on growing, and you can find her extended interview on cnbscene.com. You can also find every kind of seed under the sun at Nova Scotia's award-winning Halifax Seed. We thank them greatly for once again providing the perfect spot for our seed segment. Still ahead on CNBC, we'll meet a couple whose new business is giving old furniture a new life, and we'll stop into Foreign Affair and find out what's in style for spring.
Great pop of color. And it's one of those colors.
Beautiful hydrangeas, aren't they? Hi everyone, I'm Neville and this is Sarah. And Sarah, you're going to do a wonderful cluster style of bouquet, whilst I do more of a European style of hand-tied, shall I?
Yeah.
So why don't you start with that? Now you've got those beautiful hydrangea that you sort of put together, didn't you?
Yes, I already clustered them together.
And then what are you going to do?
I'm going to put in the spider mums and the calla lilies and cluster them in the hydrangea to make it look really pretty.
Well, why don't you do that while I do this? Now when I do a hand-tied, I take the flowers and start with a spiraling motion with greenery and flowers and greenery and flowers. And this is a spiraling thing. Come on, people are watching. One over the top of each other with those beautiful roses and the hydrangeas and the ulstramary. And you can see everything spiraling around. And you can just keep turning that around, Sarah. Do you see what I'm doing with that? While yours is all going in a tight cluster. Look at that. Going around and around and around. It's sort of the same idea, but what mine does is makes my bouquet a lot more loose and airy than yours does, doesn't it?
Yes, it does,
And you
definitely.
keep on spiraling this right around. Look how pretty that is. Oh my God, don't you feel like you just want to get married? You are getting married, aren't you?
I am.
You are. And I'm an old married woman from a long time ago. But you know what? This is beautiful. Look at that. And you just keep going around. And for this, you could use any types of flowers that you want to do. And I think you could do that, any types of flowers for yours.
Yes.
What do you think of this one? Look
That's
at that.
beautiful.
I'll just take some greenery.
Oh, I love that
and
one.
Put it around here. And yours, because everything still comes from that axis point in the center, you just tie that and add some beautiful ribbon. Whereas mine all spirals out. You can see it all spirals out from the bottom. So if I cut that all at the same level, you can actually stand that up on a table.
That's really cool.
Okay, and that's just a different look. This tends to be a lot more loose and relaxed, whereas yours tends to be a bit more formalized, doesn't it?
Yes,
There
definitely.
you go. Two types of hand-tied bouquets for the more structured look or the bit loose and airy. So whichever you are, we've got something for you.
Always such beautiful work from My Mother's Bloomers. Our thanks to Neville and Sarah. And we'll have plenty more from Mr. McKay later in the show. Coming up after the break, we'll head to the Carleton to make a musically inspired cocktail perfect for toasting to spring. We'll be right back.
Hi everybody, I'm Ian Black. We're down here at the Carleton and I'm going to show you how to make one of my favorite summer cocktails we do down here. It's called the Sunburn Sangria, and that's a little nod to Gordy Sampson, one of my favorite artists, plays here a couple times a year.
You're the lesson I never learned. You're my sunburn.
That song is actually one of my favorites, Sunburn. So here's Sangria inspired. Gordy Sampson. All right, let's start with a big old wine glass full of ice, and we're gonna get some Malibu rum, half an ounce. Chuck that in there, and we're gonna throw in some Soho, which is a lychee liqueur. A lovely bouquet, half an ounce of that. There we go. And we're going to throw in some fresh orange juice and fresh pineapple juice. 1, 2, 3 count. There it is. On top of that, we're going to float a nice fresh orange wheel for you. And then, most important part of sangria, a little red wine. I'm going to float that right on top. Look at that. Beautiful layer All we need to do now is toss a little cherry on top. And there you go, guys. Come on down, try one out.
Our great thanks to Mr. Ian Black for mixing up that tasty treat. Now they've got all sorts of awesome adult beverages at the Carleton, but you'll want to remember that one for the purposes of this show. They've got a delicious meal menu too, and of course an always steady stream of stellar talent hitting the Carleton stage, like New Brunswick bluesman Tom Swift, he'll play April 2nd, and Great Big Sea alum Sean McCann, who will take to the stage May 27th. Now if comedy's more your style, well you'll want to see Nova Scotia's hilarious Nikki Payne, who will be making her Carleton debut during this year's Halifax Comedy Festival for taping a first Stories of Pain and Laughter podcast on Friday, April the 24th. For a complete list of upcoming shows, visit thecarleton.ca. And for a brand new interview with the man behind it all, Mr. Mike Campbell, visit cmbscene.com. It's always cool to catch up with Mike to get the scoop on great new artists, his Halifax Urban Folk Festival, and much more. So check that out for sure. Still ahead on CMB Scene, we'll turn the focus to fashion and find out what's in style for spring at Foreign Affair. Plus, I'll wow Neville McKay with my knowledge of floral design.
We talked
We did, didn't we?
armature?
Arnold Schwarzenegger?
No.
Yeah.
All I can think of is armature, but
Yes, we
that's not
did.
right.
Yeah, it is. That's right.
Okay,
You did good. Yeah.
Now, if you tuned in to watch our Porch Project special last summer, well, you'd know I've got a true affinity for upcycling. It's hard to beat a thrifty find with a fresh coat of paint. But then I started following Relove Halifax on Twitter, and upcycling never looked so good. Suzanne Hickey and Steve Anderson take old and often discarded pieces, apply colors and textures and carpentry skills to really relove furniture. Vintage, salvage, stylage. So cool. And as fast as they can post their pieces online, folks are snapping them up. So given their propensity to breathe new life into old things, I thought spring was the perfect time to get to know what this new company was all about.
We typically work on things that are vintage, mid-century modern, or retro. We try and give them a new life. So mix a little vintage and modern together and keep things out of the landfill is really what we're trying to do.
Yeah, the pieces, the lines are worth keeping, but then you add this flair in. So what's the vision and how does that begin for you?
It's almost an unconscious decision. When you see something, you get a feel from it. You know, whether you're buying a car or something, a material thing, you get a feel for something. And we just have always enjoyed having retro pieces in our houses,
Right.
and quality pieces, really well built
Right.
pieces from the 50s and 60s. And we just see a piece and we know it could be a pile of junk somewhere, and we just, there it is.
Are you doing the roadside thing? Because I sometimes do that.
We do that sometimes, yeah, we do.
See?
We find things all over the place. We
Yep.
go to antique stores, collectible stores, junk stores, sometimes roadside. And like Steve said, really, it doesn't matter where you are. We see a lot of junk and we look around and just see something and we both kind of instantly go, yeah, we can do something with that. And the more we do it, the more creative we get.
It's a non-stop kind of process and product for us. There's always so much more out there. You don't know what you're going to get.
Right.
They're usually one-ofs.
Yeah.
And we love that. We're not a production kind of shop.
No.
We see one thing.
And it is one of a kind, unique.
It
And,
is,
and I must say, selling like hotcakes. Is that how can you keep up with it? I'm serious.
We've been really lucky.
yeah.
It certainly took us by surprise. And yes, we're fortunate. I mean, most things sell within a day. So we're starting to build our reputation and our brand a little bit around that, where a lot of people who follow us regularly and are return customers,
Right. They gotta get
they
it.
know
Yeah.
things
Yeah.
sell really quickly. So that's really nice and something we did not expect.
Right.
But we love it.
Very good. Well, now, and you can't get in their house, but I'm just going to say you're probably going to see it at some point in some publication because it's spectacular. But what you're seeing here is a union of two wonderful people who really changed it, flip the page in your worlds. I love that message too. Steve, what were you in your previous life?
Graphic designer.
Okay.
Graphic designer, 15, 16 years.
Yeah.
Loved it. And I just grew up doing carpentry with my dad and do it on the weekends. And I thought, boy, I love doing this. And a couple of years ago, I just made a leap of faith and had just enough of graphic design and being in front of a
Well,
computer.
because it is a combination. And this
Yeah.
lady here, PR and marketing.
Yes, for about 15 or 16 years. And kind of the same thing before I met Steve. We were both doing this separately and saying, boy, I think I'm tired of this. I loved it. I had a great career. I think I'm ready to do something else. And just got to the point in my life where I thought, why not take the leap? It was scary, but then when we met and we started talking about it, it felt really easy.
Yep.
And so away we went. No looking back.
And I hate to get Oprah, but they would never have met had they not flipped the page.
It's true.
That is true. We probably wouldn't have.
We do say that we wouldn't be doing this by ourselves.
Right.
It took the 4 hands, 2 minds, and us together to really do this and enjoy it so much every day.
I love
it's wonderful.
that. I tell you what else I love, giving stuff away. Time now to dole out some TV free stuff, and we've come up with the perfect prize as the growing season grows near. From the good folks at Nimbus Publishing, Plants for Atlantic Gardens by the blooming writer herself, Jody DeLong. The well-known gardening columnist and St. John's native provides your go-to resource for growing perennials, shrubs, and trees on the east coast of Canada. Beautiful photographs, wonderful insights, a hardiness map, and more. Plants for Atlantic Gardens can be yours if you can tell us which Cape Breton-born Grammy-winning singer-songwriter does the Carleton Sunburn Sangria salute. Once you know it, hit the website at cnbc.com, click on the TV Free Stuff button, and submit your answer. Good luck to ya, and we'll be right back with more of CNBC TV's Spring Show. Welcome back to CNBC's Spring Show. When it comes to fashion, foreign affairs, Marjorie Torrance is our go-to girl. We've been stopping into the Spring Garden store to find out what's in style season after season. Time now to find out what's in for spring 2015. Okay, I have to laugh because I think I'm wearing the only color that's not in season. Is that right, Marjorie?
Never, never, never. There's a punch of color all the way around. It's just shades of.
Okay.
This is your shade of pink. How's that?
I like it. Okay, now let's just talk about it because this is both classic and modern. Am I right?
You are correct.
Okay.
And things are changing a little bit. It's not all about the skinny pant, which is great. We have an athletic pant instead.
Oh, now look. If there's one look I'm still not sold on, I saw that this is back in style and it has not gone away.
It has not. I don't think it's going anywhere either. Well, because it's a change, and so we need a change. But it's not a tight pant.
No.
It just makes you have to wear an interesting shoe.
Yes.
That's all.
Always a heel.
Always
Always
a
a heel.
Yeah, or a wedge even, like if you want it to get the height without the wobbliness.
Right.
A
and
wedge
that
is
takes
great.
the sportiness out of it and makes it more stylish.
Exactly.
Okay.
And we have a clean, flat front pant, so it isn't a pleat, which is great, which is usually complimentary to most people.
Right.
And then we have the piece.
To the people that it's not complimentary to, what a perfect addition.
It's a perfect addition.
Yeah.
Exactly. You're seeing a lot of vests or dusters, they're calling them, for spring. Okay. So this one is leather in the front.
It is beautiful.
It's gorgeous, and it has fabric in the back, so it makes it a little easier to wear. We have a little belt in the back and cinch your waist in a little bit.
Okay.
And this allows the neckline just to flow at fall as it flows.
Gorgeous.
Yeah. It's really great. It's a great neutral. It'll go with everything you already own.
Right.
It's really a great way to punch up your wardrobe for spring.
And I could wear it with jeans or it's dressy.
Definitely.
Who makes this piece?
This is from Vince.
Love
You've
Vince.
worn Vince in the
Love
past,
Vince.
and you've really enjoyed. It's an
Yeah.
American sportswear company, and they're always right on trend. You know, they have great little T-shirts. Now they're moving into trousers, and they've always had leather. So this long vest just is perfect from them.
Gorgeous. Marjorie, I love this coat.
It's a great coat,
Oh my
isn't
gosh.
it?
It's an investment, though. Let's be
It is
clear.
an investment
Okay.
piece. It's a lovely color of fuchsia. It's a Canadian-made leather jacket. It's also sporting a look that's big this season, the moto jacket.
Moto jacket.
Yeah,
I
motorcycle
getcha.
inspired.
I'm with ya.
Yeah. So what wouldn't you wear that with?
I mean, it's gorgeous. First of all, I love pink. I'm a pink girl. And to see the pop of color.
It is a pop of color. For
Yeah.
our black and white world, it's a great pop of color. And it's one of those colors that looks good on a lot of people, lifts us up a little bit, which we can all stand to have a little bit of color, don't you think?
Indeed. Well, I love it. I want to talk about the weight of the leather, too, because we're talking spring and summer, but that's something I should invest in.
Definitely. Definitely, because we do have that lovely time of year here where it's not summer and it's not winter, and this is a perfect piece for that because you can layer it, you can wear it open. I think even over a black dress if you're going somewhere, it's a great piece. And with keeping with how many different looks can we have going in a season, I had to accentuate the lace blouse underneath. Lace is still really strong.
I was going
this
to
spring.
ask you, so it's stuck around.
It has stuck around. We have it in skirts, we have it in blouses, we have it in dresses. So here's our little punch right here in the little blouse underneath. And then it's just a great little top. Again,
Sweet.
great on its own. And it's feminine, but it's not too girly. And then just to change it up a little bit, another new item for spring. It's a culotte.
Culotte, ladies and gentlemen.
Back from, I don't know when.
Do you remember the first time you wore culottes? Come on.
Yeah, yes, I do, unfortunately.
I do as well. I do as well. They were all the rage.
Again, it's a nice visual change. It's
Yeah.
clean, it's a little wider. We haven't seen anything wide for a while. And you can dress it up and you don't already have it.
No, that's right.
And you can also take our wonderful leather vest that we looked at earlier and do it with the culotte as well.
Very good. Here's what I like about this look. I can wear jeans I wore last season. Is that right?
That is correct. You can wear jeans that you wore last season because distressed denim is in again this season. So we went with a darker denim here just so you could actually see it. There are others with even more distressing, but we went with a little bit more subtle. And you already have this.
Right.
But the way you're going to change it up this year, it's now okay to wear denim on denim.
Oh.
The Canadian tuxedo, denim on denim, right? So now, but this is a look you could throw on, you with no time, right?
Exactly. Oh my
And you're
gosh.
dressed and away you go. You
And
look
it's
good.
the boyfriend. I'm still cuffing him.
You're still cuffing your boyfriend, Jean.
Okay. And loose, which I love.
Exactly. You know, and some have.
Where's the skinny?
Oh, it's here.
Okay.
It's here. I just kind of decided to focus on this
Thank
because
you. God love you. God love you.
Just because we all enjoy our boyfriend so much, and the distressed is bigger this season than it was last. So
Right.
that's what. But of course, the dark skinny is still here.
Okay,
it's not
good.
going anywhere. Don't worry for fall. We're going in some other wids, but we're going to stick to our boyfriend for spring and summer because we're so comfortable. The other item you're seeing a lot of this season is perforated or mesh. You're seeing it in dresses, you're seeing it in sleeves, you're seeing it in blouses. So I took the little jacket that we have from Macaj with the perforated just to show it a little bit in an everyday look that you can do. And of course, Miss Kylie Jenner has been seen with this one on.
Wow. She's very popular.
She's very popular, those two girls on the runway. So
Yeah.
if they're wearing it, it must be the thing to wear.
Okay, Marjorie, I'm moving forward. I need pieces, right?
You
Mix
need
and match pieces.
Mix and match pieces to put into your wardrobe with the things you already have to make them current for this season. You need your distressed boyfriend jean.
Right.
You need a pop of color, and the leather would be a perfect way to go,
Yes.
especially with the motocross. It's a nice, interesting, good, essential look.
Right.
I think if you really want to go a little more fashion, you go with your vest or your duster, and I think the culotte is a really great look to embrace for this season in spring and then going forward again into fall.
Nice. And denim on denim.
And denim on denim. You're not allowed to wear it.
Nice. Well, we've got just enough time in our spring show for a few more floral tips with Neville McKay.
Talk to me about armature because we saw this last spring. We saw it in our how-to show.
Yeah.
And it is the best thing that's ever happened.
Do you know what? Armatures are the coolest things. And I think what we showed before was the wire over top of a container.
That's right, we did.
Which works so wonderfully well. Let me show you this in a different way, as well as a kubari. Let me show you the kubari first, because that sounds
Bari.
so cool.
Yes, it
Kubari.
does. You don't even know
So
what that means,
I
do you?
do.
I don't.
I do.
Tell me.
This is a westernized version of a Japanese style of making an armature called a kubari, which is a circular motion of branches inside a container to hold things in place.
These are real?
Those are all fresh.
Okay.
Those are all fresh. It's
I
all,
could do that.
What you could, because you just take branches and literally just shove them in a container in a circular motion. Do you see how that's going in a circular motion?
I do
So
indeed.
once that's in, this is how easy that, oh my darling, it's that easy. Once you add your water to it, it looks pretty on its own, doesn't it?
It does, actually.
So you've got that water all in there. And now you just add your flowers. And of course, that water is fortified with flower food.
Okay.
Okay? So there's flower food.
That's
So you-
always key.
Absolutely. So you can just give your stems a fresh cut, drop them in, off you go.
There's no wrong move here,
No,
right?
but you know what? There are, but you know, it's okay. We can edit that. But see how the
Yes.
branches, but see even when you, I just want to show
See,
that.
again, he's
no, but I'm
moving
just
it.
showing because
That's
it's
fine.
easier to show on camera. Look,
Yeah.
how it'll stand up straight on its own.
Oh, very good.
You would put it, the only one tips sideways.
Well, I remember this is a heavy drinker.
It is a heavy, well, you remember
Like
that
myself.
Part.
Very
That
good.
is a hydrangea macrophylla.
Yes.
And this is a beautiful viburnum.
Viburnum.
Snowball bush. And as that matures, that'll turn beautiful white.
And I just want to say, you're mixing it up here. You're
I'm-
not
we're
keeping
mixing
it the same.
Nope.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Absolutely
Now, my
not.
natural tendency would be to put it over
Just turn
here,
that around a little
but
bit.
no.
No.
No, okay. Now, what about the leaves dropping in there? Should I worry about pulling off the bottoms, or
that's
how
a
do you?
good question, because you notice we have removed the foliage that is going to be beneath the waterline.
Okay.
Because that tends to decompose very quickly.
Okay.
So we don't want to do that little trick.
Okay.
But this is a great way to make sure those flowers are all going to stay in place wonderfully well.
Wow. Now, obviously, those branches were fresh to begin with. They have to be moist. You have to.
Those are fresh.
When are you
salix.
making that decision?
What do you mean?
To do the, what did you call it? Like you have to
Kubari?
say kubari. What was on them? Nothing. You just buy.
Nothing.
You just have branches.
Yeah, and you know what? If it's the winter, you can just go out and cut some branches down, bring them in, thaw them out, and of course, then they're pliable. Wow. And off you go. Do you know what a cool thing about tulips is when you have tulips, they're one of the few flowers that will keep growing as a cut flower. You can get up to 1 inch a day as a cut flower with a tulip. So when you get them when they're quite tight and quite green, watch them grow. It's the coolest thing.
Oh, it's beautiful. And are you going to the? An arrangement with Neville McKay right away.
It's so simple, and those branches hold that in place because when you drive, and I've seen you drive, these can tip sideways. It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. Oh, I hear. And this will hold that in place. And as those flowers mature, the branches keep them from doing their thing and going crazy.
It's great.
Isn't that super?
Yeah, and super simple.
Super simple. So we have this really beautiful candle holder. And a lot of people have candle holders and they don't realize that you can use this for a floral piece. And although they're not going to get water, unless you put them on water tubes, you can certainly do that as well.
Yeah, you could,
But
just the little
you could,
things.
Just the little water caps.
But this
fine.
is a statement.
But this is fun. Just to have for an
centerpiece, if you will.
evening affair, something really to show off a little bit. If you were having an anniversary or just, want to brag to the neighbors that, yeah, I can do this and you can't. So just take some of your wire product that you can get and just
wrap it
upgrade,
around.
and you upgrade that container. Isn't that beautiful
Yeah,
already?
it's gorgeous.
Then you can take something like Liatris that has a wonderful natural bend to it anyway, and you can just take that. You notice I even have to speak a little softer.
You do, because
you
it's
just
so
softer.
delicate.
So you are going to massage these wonderful flowers to entice them to do their thing. Look at that. You put right around in there because people are watching. Look, right in there, my darling, look.
Oh,
beautiful.
that's great.
Beautiful, and then just take one of those wonderful calla lilies. And again, this is the
They
sort of
seem
thing.
very fragile, the calla
Oh,
lily.
no, do you know what? They're like me. They might look a little fragile, but they're not. They'll hold up well.
Inside they're scrappy.
But the thing is with this style of design, this is a very European style of design, and we tend to do a lot of pieces that not necessarily last for a long time, but like a really good meal or a good drink, you don't necessarily have it last for ages, but the joy that you'll get from it, you will have for an awfully long time. So don't necessarily, Scotty, I don't want to poke you in the
What I love is that you don't need a lot of flowers,
You
right?
don't. You don't, because this is it's a wonderful. Look at that, brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. That
See, you make it look easy though, Neville.
But it is easy.
Well,
it is easy. Look at that. I mean,
That's
God
gorgeous.
gives and God takes away. I can't do a thing with my hair, and yours is lovely. But I can certainly make a floral piece. But look how simple that is.
Yeah.
And using elements of two to complement the two candles and the two candlestick areas.
Gorgeous.
Really, really works well. But wouldn't that be gorgeous to serve that next to your Ritz crackers and squeeze the snack and maybe some bridge mixture in the front or Vienna sausage? Oh my darling, load up. Beautiful.
Gorgeous.
You can watch this show and all the other great Community One programming anytime you want. Simply click the On Demand button on your Bell Alliant Fiber Op TV remote and follow the steps on your screen. And be sure to visit cnbc.com, where we celebrate the people, places, and things that make the 4 Atlantic provinces so special 24/7. I'm Stephanie Beaumont. Thanks so much for watching CNBC. We'll see you next time, and happy spring!